And we're here at last. Yeah, I haven't a clue what's going on with my internet at the moment. When I'm just day to day using the internet or just browsing Facebook on my phone, the internet keeps freezing. But as Fox has mentioned in a chat on the phone, it doesn't seem to happen on a Monday night. But there's nobody watching the Netflix or sewing channels tonight, so I just haven't got a clue what's going on. But anyway, I restarted the stream and it seems like we've got a better connection now than we had before, so we'll just go with it and see how it is. But thank you for hanging on and being patient. It's really appreciated. It doesn't look very professional on my side, but hey, well, we're here anyway. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks Fox. We'll do a hangout and see if there's any settings that need changing, but I just haven't got a clue what's going on. But anyway, good evening anyway. Welcome to Wednesday, the last night, I think. Well, we'll see how we go on and what the chat goes like and how much I actually get done on this. The Universal Carrier makes a change not to show the box because it's finished. I've done all the bits. I've just got to paint this little bit here. As you can see, it's yeah, I've done all the decals. I've done them today. As you probably saw if you follow my Facebook page, I was doing them earlier. And yes, apart from when I stuck the wrong numbers on the wrong sides, because they all look the same. And can you see? I don't know if it's a bit out of focus. Hang on, let's look at the focus. Find the focus button. That's that one. We go there. Yeah, see that? I crushed one of the decals. It all went wrinkly, and I'd put the microset on microsol, and it was too late. Yeah, but never mind. We can sort that out with a bit of weathering. But yeah, while we're up close, you can have a proper look at it. It turned out all right. Ready for a bit of weathering. I've already done I've gone across and given it a bit of a spray with like a dust wash. I don't know if you can quite make it out, but there's a dust wash gone in there. It's got a clear coat on, so we're about ready for part 2 of the weathering. Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, let's get on and do something. Right, well, take the focus back to where we were. There we are. That's better. Right. Well, we can settle down a bit. One thing I must do before we go on, if you haven't caught up with us on YouTube or anywhere like that recently, I must thank you lot out there across here. My chat's over here on the screen, and I'm pointing to you all in chat. I'm pointing to you all in chat that that if it wasn't for you lot, I wouldn't have reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, I really appreciate your support, and without you guys, I wouldn't be doing any of this really, because I'd just probably sat at the bench, all lonely, all on my lonesome, with a whiskey, and yeah, just yeah. Yeah, and Fox was the 1,000, so he gets to run around the store with an empty shopping trolley, and he can empty as much as he wants into his basket, and he only has to pay for half of it when he leaves. So yeah, so well done Fox for being our 1,000th customer. Well done. Right, and tonight's dram, by the way, is Jura. They've actually recently been advertising on TV, the Jura distillery on the Isle of Jura, where there's about 900 people, so that's a lot of whiskey to get through for such a small island. Yep, so there we go. Right, who's in anyway tonight? Thank you very much for coming along from the other stream. And who is in? Obviously Lynn was first, so she should get the first mention. Then Anders came in. Athol, I think Athol's in, but he's gone to watch something on TV. Paul, Fox, Anders, Michael Stroman, Lynn, Anders, Lynn, and Paul Lines, Edward, Anders Eriksson, and Spruglo Alex, welcome. Ted's in the mosh pit. Yes, we're talking about my music at the start. Nobody could imagine me in the mosh pit. But however, I have, not too far in the distant past, been in the mosh pit. Because somebody at work was selling tickets for a group called the Scissor Sisters, who were quite top of the charts at the time. Do you remember them, the Scissor Sisters, animatronic and all that? Well, she was selling tickets, and I thought, oh well, I'll take Mrs. Ted to go and see the Scissor Sisters. And yeah, we got the tickets, turned up, not realising that these tickets were in the mosh pit. So yeah, we ended up, me and Mrs. Ted, in a mosh pit full of young teenagers, being sort of bounced about. And yeah, but it was a great experience. It was a great group. So that's how it was good. Yeah, experience of being in a mosh pit. Not quite the same as a heavy metal band, but yeah, to me it was loud. Right. Who else? Athol, Spruglo, Ostrich, 9 million, Graham, Fox, Graham, yeah, on and on. Yeah, the decal is fine, Fox. Yeah, I actually was with my magnifiers and some sharp tweezers and a paintbrush. I managed to sort of reassemble it, and now it just looks like it's been chipped off in use. So yeah, it's one of those happy accidents, I guess. Some Bob's a muddle, covered the broken decal, says Anders. I was thinking that myself. Hi Michael Stroman, and Hugo Model Work. I hope one day to reach 1,000 subscribers on his channel. Yes, it takes a long time to get there, and you can watch the numbers come up and the numbers go down, but then they come up. But yeah, all that Fox kept telling me to do was content. Keep making content and they will come. Yeah, so that's what you got to do. So I am actually in the process of making another 2 Skipperton videos at the moment. I've got in my head, my brain, I've got some ideas for 2 more at least. Professor McSkipperton lectures. So keep an eye out for them, and I hope you like them. Just short, sharp, fun, little little lectures that hopefully with a bit of humour in them might tempt people to watch, but never mind. Right, so what's everybody? Hi, Colin's in as well. Good evening, Colin. Right, okay, so I suppose I better get on and do something, but yeah, I just feel like sitting here tonight and having a drink. Oh, and also tonight, remind me, but because this is the last night of this tonight, it looks like YouTube's buffering again. I do apologise. I hope it sorts itself out. It often does. But what was I going to say? Yeah, do remind me tonight as well that I will show you shortly my build for next week. When this is finished, we'll start a brand new build I'll have to change the titles and everything now and do all the work on YouTube and put another thumbnail up and things like that. So yeah, it's not that easy. Right, so are you guys experiencing buffering now, because YouTube's telling me that it's not being brilliant? I know that the weather is horrendous outside here. So right, what we're going to do, I'm actually going to use some of this. I did get this for my digger build, which is up there on the shelf. But I can use some of the products in this. This is the Civil Vehicles Weathering Set from MIG, so we can have a go at this. Right, yeah, it's the YouTube channel's cleared itself again now, so hopefully we'll bear with it. If it gets too horrible, yeah, we'll take it from there and see what happens. Now I've got a little building stand for this, and it's really clever because you just clip onto it. See, it's like, oh, you can't see it. Yeah, it's like that. Isn't that clever? Thing is, it's too close to the camera now and it's out of focus. So this comes in. I'll just readjust the focus. Everything in the background will go out of focus, but I'll just readjust the focus again. And then you can see what's happening. Cool. Yeah, everything is closed down. Let's try to see. Everything else is closed down. Nothing's running on this computer, and it's just a pig. But there we nothing's running. So, hey, well, we'll march on. Right, what we're going to do? Well, we've obviously covered this in a clear coat, so we can sort of more or less do everything we want with it. Streaks, washes, and things like that. So yeah, but the main idea of tonight is do a little bit of modelling and chat. Anders said, how does that clip stand work? Well, it works by the magic of magnets. It does have a magnet on it itself, but they're not really strong enough to hold this model. It's designed as a tank modelling stand. There is a little bit of a holder that goes on there like that, and then it magnetizes through the hull of the vehicle and holds it on. But I've got 2 earth magnets in here because this is too big to go in, and I put 2 earth magnets on there as well just to strengthen it up a little bit. And then it just clips on there. It's not, you can't push it. You've got to be careful with it, just to make sure. But it's really handy, and you can see it as well, can't you? That whiskey tumbler is staring at me. Yes, it's gorgeous tonight. I've got myself a large. Yeah, I thought because it was Wednesday, I've been busy all week. I've spent quite a lot of time in the workshop this week. I thought I would treat myself tonight. Sunday night was gin night. I thought tonight would be a a whiskey night. So tonight, as I said before, it's Jura. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. So, right, what we're going to do, I don't know, where should we start? Should we start with some what I'm planning to do with this is not to make it look as though it's been through muddy fields and slapping on loads of mud and grunge and things like that. I'm thinking that it's probably been through a town. The story of this is they've come through the invasion, and they've little vehicles like these are at the forefront. They're out scouting around, looking for things, feeding back information. So it's come to one of the towns that's being attacked and bombarded. So it's running through a lot of rubble and dust, dusty Normandy roads and things like that. So it's going to pick up a lot of dust. It's not going to be too much weathering. Sorry, not going to be too much in the way of rust, because these guys have spent a long time waiting for the order to go. So they've been maintaining and looking after the vehicle, cleaning it up. So rust wouldn't have been a big problem. We'll do a few rust streaks though. And then the rest of it's got to be dusty and streaky and things like that. So there we go. So that's my story anyway. Right. Bottle waking. Fox's Wednesday night is always whiskey night. Yes, it is. I mentioned whiskey. I've got to drink. Lynn says the town is closed down and she wants to have an oil change. No wonder the hospital is flood of the pandemonium. Nobody was wearing a mask. Athol says, see, that is what Ted learned at Hall Russell Shipbuilders. I worked at Hall Russell. I did. Maybe I've told you that in the past. What to do with magnets at skipper scale models. Yes, it's good. It's a nice little thing. I actually forgot I had it because it used... Where's it gone? I'm over here. Oops. Yeah, that just knocked it a bit closer, didn't it? That was just so you could see. Yeah, this stand here used to hold this guy. Yeah, because it's a puppet. All right, let's... Yeah, it used to hold this guy here. It's a puppet because that used to sit inside in the hand. Yeah, that's... And I forgot I had it. Then suddenly it dawned on me. I had it. Yeah, well, there. And yeah, so I dragged it back out. It was sent to me as a gift quite a while ago, but thank you. Excuse me. So, shall we get on with stuff? Right. It's ask me any questions you want, because we're here for about an hour tonight. And ask me anything. Where we at? Right. Anders said, I've never been grown up enough to learn to appreciate whiskey. Whiskey was a drink that I never liked. My dad used to drink it. Let's find some brushes while we're talking. my dad used to drink it. I used to hate the sight. I used to hate the smell of it. Never mind the taste of it. And it was... don't want that. Sorry, I'm just looking for the right colour. I think I'm going to start with using US Vehicles Modern Vehicle Wash. Yeah, I never used to like whiskey. I couldn't stand the taste of it. But I guess that as we get older, our taste buds maybe change. And I tried a whiskey and I liked it, and then somebody suggested add a drop of water to it and it will bring out the flavour even more. So yeah, this got a drop of water and it really does work, and it's gorgeous if you put ice in it as well. Lynn says she loves being off Wednesday. She can hang with her friends. Yes, it's really been a busy night tonight. Chris managed to get his Lego dog finished before he came over, before you all came over. So I do hope you enjoyed that and enjoyed him watching him do the Lego. Right, I've not used this before, so we really want to see how it goes on. So we're just going to pick up some of the corners and crevices and then let it dry and we'll buff it all off. So hospitals tell him to stay at home and keep sending me appointments. Yes, I know it's like that. The Mrs. Ted has to have hospital appointments every now and again, and they keep sending her appointments to turn up. So she phones them up and says, "But is it safe to come to the hospital?" "Oh yes." So yeah, one hand they tell you to stay at home, and on the other they're sending out appointments. So let's have a look at some cotton buds. Gin, on the other hand, says Anders, yes, I do like gin. That's where I started my journey into spirits. As you know, I do enjoy a good tipple of gin, but gin I think is it's a nice long drink. You can make a nice long drink out of gin, especially with all the different types of mixers that we can get now. As we know with washes, it's often a put lots of it on and wipe it all off. What I could do with it as well is on the edges at the tops, as you can just see there, don't need a lot, just put it in and you can sort of do a fade, and we can also drag it down to make it look as rainwater would drag it down. I've got another colour for that as well that come in. Use an exhaust wash. It doesn't have to be used on exhaust just because it's exhaust wash, but it's quite nice at representing like rain streaks. But even this, just for the colour in the wash, it does work. Fox might do a live stream later. Oh, yeah, that's one of the advantages of being on lockdown, especially for us in the UK, because we could do impromptu live streams. I keep saying I'm going to do one, I haven't done one yet. It's because I've been busy doing lots of other stuff. Right, I'm losing the chat. Let's move the chat up. Twister Rail Hobbies. Hi again. Stream didn't automatically start like it usually does. Yeah, we had to can the first stream because of things. So we started another one, and this one might not have registered as quick as when we got it started, but welcome, you've caught up with us anyway. Lynn says all the bars are closed down. Athol says use 2 brushes, one to put it on and the second to make the streaks. Yeah, I can do that. But, usually what I'll find is that I'll use a wider brush, but I just wanted to do some like shading and then pull it down after that. I'll probably pull this down yeah. See, I can't talk and think at the same time. You've got to really sort of work out where, if you're doing streaks, as Athol said, yeah, pull it down. You've got to work out the areas where rain would pool and run down. Pick up on some of the rivets. I know I did that before, but I rubbed them all off again. Hugo's Model Works says see you later. He's off to make some more. Yes, make lots of videos, lots of them. Doesn't matter what's in them. We should make lots of videos. Sarah Jane, good evening to you. Anders says don't think, just talk. Yeah, I can't. Yes, I'll do my best. Leave that bit. As I say, I don't want to do much mud and rust on the wheels, but we can give them a little bit of we can use a light rust wash, not so much as in can I get the top off? That's also a typical response from a licky. Can't do 2 things. Yeah. That's a guy thing, isn't it? Guys can't. Lynn will tell you. Guys can't do 2 things at once. Just to work on the suspension. We could just put a light rust wash just over some of the running gear. you just gotta think that these wouldn't be heavily rusted. They are in use. You can see now the advantage of putting a clear coat on is that if you don't like something, you can quickly take it off. Let's move this a little bit more. Are we still in focus? I think we are. Some of these joints here, I think we could actually later on we'll apply some Abteilung engine grease, as though the parts have been greased up. Ted shakes bottle, doesn't realise the lid's not on. Yeah, one thing about these bottles, the ammo ones, you really do have to make sure that the lids are screwed down. I don't know if anybody else has experienced it, but you think the lid's on, you give it a shake and it all seems to work its way around the thread and shakes out. But yeah. I also realised I just haven't painted the tyres on this vehicle yet, but never mind, we could do that again. Streaking rust. It's really nothing. Yeah, I don't tend to have a plan of what I'm going to do with my colours. Now it seems like all the yeah, it seems like all the pigment in the bottom of the streaking rust is at the bottom of the pot. Yeah, Foxes, yeah, they're not a tight seal, and if you do store them sideways, they leak, which I found out. I'm just stirring this with the other end of the paintbrush. I found out that when I moved house, I put lots of them in a box and didn't secure them upright, so they just all fell about. Yeah, and when I finally came to unload the box and empty everything out and put things back on the shelf, half of the bottles were empty because they just leaked something terrible. Yeah. So, lid back on. What I do with these now is that when I come to shake them, I wrap a cloth over the top. Then shake. Athol prefers Humbrol weathering powders. Yeah, I haven't used the weathering powders yet. I've dug some out, but I do like the MIG pigments. That's an AK one. I've got a vast array of MIG and AK pigments. I do have some Humbrol ones. Nothing wrong with them at all, but yeah, my preference is the MIG ones. There's multitudes of ways of using pigments. I think we discussed that on Tuesday, on Monday. But yeah, you can mix them with varnish, put them on that way, dust them on. Put them on with the dust and then just hold them with a fixative. I say I don't want to go overboard with the rustiness on this thing. I just wondered if you could see what's going on. Right, just can hear the rain hammering on the roof outside. That's probably a reason why the internet's up to no good as well. I've just got to brush with some thinners just to brush over these. Some of these pigments and as have been stood around for quite a long time. I haven't used them, so they do settle out quite quickly. In fact, I would advise, if you're using them for a long time, if you're using them over a period of time, sort of an hour, give them a couple of shakes as you go along, because they do settle quite quickly. Try to clear off some of this dust that I put on earlier. Just moving it around a little bit. There, that looks a bit better. Okay, yep. You do ask any questions that you have, whilst I sort of get on with this and enjoy a drink. We're nearly at the end of our lockdown here, so what have you guys been doing since you were here last week then? Any new models started? Speaking of new models, I won't show you what I've got just yet, but what would you like? What if you wanted to watch me build something live, what would it be? That's fine. Yeah, another one where the pigments have all settled. Anders hasn't started anything new. Anybody else? Who's next? Anybody else started something new? Or not started something new? Continuing with an old build? You can tell this has been quite a popular one of the weathering products that I like best, because it's nearly all gone and not been spilled. Yes, whatever. Yeah. in my mind, the correct amount of weathering is always more. No, now you know me. My amount of weathering is less is more. And especially when you can come and put more on it if you don't like it. Right. See, the advantage of this is without it falling off, if it doesn't fall off. Some magnets underneath some type. Want to see it twist around. Yeah. It's what the problem is with the magnet device here, folks, is that the because the holder is too big to go into the actual tank, I'm relying on smaller magnets. They are quite strong magnets. They're earth magnets. Oops. There we are. I think we're at the right angle now. When I'm weathering, I tend to get as much product on me as there is on the vehicle. Yeah, everybody's holding a breath for me. Normally what I would do, I'd be weathering just in solitude with nobody watching, with some music on in the background, and just making it up as I go along. It's hard with people watching what you're doing. What I'm going to have to do in the end, or you can't see it because it's all the way over there. Hang on, let's move it back. Sorry about that. Is that big brush moist or dry? It's dry. It's got it's dry. It's got a very slight dampness in the back of it. It's to touch it, it's dry, but it's got that it's got that residue of an oil in it from the thinners. What I did when I picked it up before, give it a little dip in the thinners, wipe it dry, and then just leave it, and it sort of, as the thinner evaporates from it, it just leaves that slight residue that lets you work with it. Sarah Jane, did you buy yourself an airbrush yet? Have you have any more thoughts on it? Going to end in tears. It's not. I'm totally confident in this carrier holder. As I say, the carrier itself is actually probably a little bit small for it because I've had to reduce the size of the magnets. Right, now I want to do a black wash, but I don't think I've got anything dark enough, so I'm going to have to make my own. Oil paint, I think, for this. Hang on, I'll be with you in a minute. I think an engine grease will do because we can use that later. Oop. Knocking everything else over. Don't need much. Abteilung 502 engine grease. Hello, Starship filth. I bet there's somewhere on this model Starship filth will come in. Right, so we want some thinners. And then we want to add some colour to the thinner because we want thinned colour, coloured thinner. We don't want thinned colour, we want coloured thinner. Get the difference? And then we could just put this over the camouflage net as a wash. And it will add some relief into the detail. Some contrast into the detail, and hopefully it will make it look a bit darker. And do that with the tarpaulin as well. We might as well while we're here. Yes, there's no planning in my weathering technique, just go for it. this could have been ideal for a gunk wash. Might do that yet. See the difference? How's the stream holding up? Get it slapped on like an Agrax Earth shade. Yeah, I haven't got any yeah, them paints. I do have some of them paints, but for the hell of me, I can't find them. I think they've probably been packed away into the bag of never needing them again type bag. Yeah. Stream is all good. Good, it's holding up. I don't know. It did. If you notice, it did this last week. It started off horribly, and then it picked itself up. So, heaven knows what's happening. Lynn's just telling Sarah how she had to save up for her airbrush. I've got a project in mind at the moment that I've got something in mind at the moment I need to raise some money to buy some boots, because my fell walking boots are ready for replacement, and I would like a really nice pair of boots. I've got my eye on some, but I'm going to need to save up and do some maybe extra work or something, just so I can treat myself to some new boots. I think when you've got a project, if you've got something in mind that you'd like to buy, you can actually work for it. Move it back again. Oh, I just caught Athel's comment there about makeup brushes, but they're so soft and very versatile. Yeah, is there something you want to tell us, Athel? You know. It's strange when you come in halfway through somebody's conversation. Yeah, so there's that side, and there's that side. Can you see, is there a difference? I still haven't finished the interior yet. There's some storage, water cans and ammo boxes and tuck boxes and things to go in there yet. But I'll do them separately. I'll do them after we finish this. Not directly after we finish this stream, but certainly as I go on, because I did want this. I forgot the name of it. This universal carrier, this Bren carrier, to go with a model that I already had made. I don't know if you've seen on my Facebook page, I posted quite a while ago the AEC Matador, and I got all that finished, and that's what those patrol figures, the Tamiya soldiers, we're going to be for. We're going to go with that and this. If I could just bring the I'll just put that to one side and bring the Matador in without dropping it. This is a gorgeous little kit. It's by AFC. Yeah, I'm sure it's by AFC. Let's just get the focus right again. Oh yeah. It's by AAC. It's a cracking little kit, really detailed. The figure doesn't come with it, by the way. He was an extra figure I bought. And like the Bren carrier, I wanted to show this sort of like coming through the streets, the dusty roads, and loading it up. But it's a gorgeous little kit, fantastic. I don't know if anybody's ever built AFC before, but it's outstanding detail. The cab, the top comes off, and it's got detail in there like that, and underneath here, if I can turn it over without breaking anything, all the chassis, all the gearbox and engine and everything works. Well, it doesn't work, but it's all there, it's all in. If you want to see some more of it, have a look on my Facebook page. It's on there. But the idea was that it was going to be sort of, as you see, the rubble and such, passing through a town just on deployment, fetching some stores through or collecting, and the carrier was going to go with it. The carrier was maybe going to sit something at the back there, but then I found that perhaps this base isn't big enough, because yeah, I had it in my head, this is how it was all going to go. The carrier was going to go there, or somewhere like this, and then the troops were going to be walking past. But I think I'll need a bigger base in the end, but that was the plan anyway. So yeah, this is just one of the builds that I just now and again like to sit down and we just do our own builds with no filming, no pressure, just to get on with it and enjoy the build rather than filming it and the added pressures of having a film. So that's one of them. I do have another one, not this, but I've got a what else I've got? Not the Matador. I've got the Scammell, the Pioneer, Scammell Pioneer tow truck. I've got that to build. That's one, again, something that I'm going to do for myself. So yeah, brilliant, nice little kit. So, and they're not that expensive either. The AFC Club, there's a few of these. You can build a few different versions of it, and I just like this one because it looks like that. It's a nice chunky type model. But anyway, that was the idea. That's where the Bren carrier was going to go, but I'll have to have a rethink on that one. So I'll maybe have to build its own little diorama base for it. Right, let's go back up and focus again. I get good at this. There we go. Everything in the background's out of focus, all fuzzy. Yeah, don't forget, as Adsa mentioned, it's Black Friday this week. Is it this week? Is it this Friday? Black Friday. So if you want to buy anything in e-models, they're having a Black Friday deal. They're already 10% off the products in there. Sounds like an e-models built Monday night, but yeah. So if anybody wants to buy anything. Don't worry about spray booths, says Graham M. At the start of a good sized cardboard box should make a good quality spray booth to get you going. Yeah, just ventilate your room. That's all I had when I started spray painting, was just a cardboard box and an open window. But yeah, don't do it for too long. Do sort of get yourself a spray booth as soon as you can. The one I've got over here is actually a extractorless fan. It hasn't got a vent on the back of it. It hasn't got a tube on the back that you have to vent outside. It's got activated carbon filters, so it doesn't need a vent with it. A little bit more expensive, but if you're in a confined space or somewhere that doesn't have a window, maybe a flat, maybe flats or something like that, it's ideal for that. Or have a look on the eBays and things like that. You'll maybe find a second-hand one. That's a lot of detail underneath. Yeah, a lot of that build for the Matador was the chassis and the running gear. It was amazing. It's an amazing build. I loved it. Right. Yeah, I'm still waiting for you guys to ask questions. Ask. I've got nothing to talk about. Next thing, what we're going to do next. Shall we do some pigments? We can do some pigments because I've got a scruffy brush there. That's not a scruffy brush. That's just one I haven't cleaned properly. Where's my scruffy brush? It's gone. There's one. Scruffy brush, pigments, rubble. It says rubble. Now then, I should, before we start, put some paper down because it goes everywhere. Sarah says, am I putting bracing in the Titanic hull? No, I'm not. I know that some of the YouTubers out there and the forums and things like that are putting bracing in the hull, but I'm just building it straight from the box just to show that you can build it straight from the box, or hoping that I can anyway. There is an actual bracing extras kit, aftermarket parts that have come out for it. But I'm not going to be using them, Sarah. Same as there's all sorts of wooden decks and things that have come out for the Titanic now. No, I think you can spend, it's a lot of money for that kit, and some people might have to save up a long time for it, and then to go out and have to buy other parts for it. I'm hopefully going to show that you can build just as good a model and have just as good results straight out the box. What's my next Warhammer model? Well, I'm going to finish it. I'm going to do that Astra Militarum. I need to change focus again. I'm going to finish this and weather all this up, because there's not a lot of building to do on this. There's the tracks to go on, and then it's down to weathering and painting. So there's not much more to do on that. So I shall continue with that after the Baneblade. I would think that by the time we come back to the next Baneblade, the next Baneblade video, when I do my bit, that might be the last of that one as well. So everything's sort of all finishing together. I'll get this out of the way a minute. Yeah, so that's the Astra Militarum. I did find the parts for it the other day. I found the box. I found all the parts for it again. I can't remember what colours I've done. So yeah, we'll work something out. So yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish that. That'll take a couple of episodes, and then I'll have a think about what I'm going to do next. Should I continue on the Warhammer type theme, or maybe do something else? I'll have a think. Yeah, but yeah, now I've got 1,000 video subscribers. I'll have to support them for them supporting me, but we'll work some out. Graham M, pigments and pigment fixers, how do they work together? Well, right, we're doing that. We're doing that now. Let's adjust the focus again. Right, we can see here how we're getting the pigments to go on. We're just applying it by a brush. You don't need to scrub it on, just lay it on. You can build it up as you go along, and we'll get to the fixers in a minute. That might be an idea if you want for I could have a word with Professor McSkipperton, and we could have a look at doing some pigments and fixers. Astra Militarum is the name of a army. That's a Hydra. Yeah. Yes. Well, you know what I'm like. Sharing with Chris is a thing. It is indeed. I do like sharing with Chris. Right, pigments, as you can see here, just, I think, let's try and adjust the light. The pigments are just laid on. Now what I'm going to do is take some pigment fixer. It doesn't particularly matter which brand. You can, this is MIG pigments, it could be Humbrol pigments, but the pigment fixer is about the same. So all you need to do now is get a fine brush, pigment fixer, fine brush, take a drop of the pigment fixer on the brush and just touch it, and see how it's spreading. Just touch it in the corner and it'll spread. Don't need to touch it anymore. this is one way. This is one way of doing it. It can be done lots of other ways. You could, if you wanted, you could spray wet varnish and then apply your pigments over that. You can mix your pigments with a varnish and paint them on that way. And then when this dries, you can, if you wanted to, you can put another layer on. Pigment fixer doesn't affect the paint, and using a pigment fixer with the proper pigments means that the colour you apply is the colour you get. Sometimes when you make up your own pigments, chalks or anything like that, you can do that. The colours might change when you fix them. Now, probably looks like we've washed it all out, but it won't. When it all dries, all the colour will come back. I don't know if we'll see it in time for the end of this video, but the pigments are in there. You can now, if you want, apply some more. And you can apply it from either a dusty type effect, or you can blow it, or you can keep adding and building up. This is a bit I like doing it. I do really like sort of just sitting down on my own, nobody watching, and weathering, just going for it. So we'll leave that bit for now. I'm not going to start and do this side. We'll do that in good time. But we can, once again, when it's done, I'll put some more pictures up on Facebook page so you can see what happened to it. And it's not quite coming through on the video camera, but it does work. It is looking different. Yeah, pigments, as Fox has just mentioned in chat, pigments do work best on a matte surface. This isn't quite a matte surface because I've clear coated it. It'll still work, but you can actually grind, you can actually scrub your pigments into a matte surface and they will colour the surface, because that's what they are. The pigments are what they make paint out of, so it's going to paint. Could you get the fixer down first and then the pigment? Yes, you can. Yeah, I've just done that with that side here. I put some pigment down, fixer down, and then put the pigment on top. Some of it will blow off because it won't get fixed, but the rest of it, as I don't know if you can quite see just in there how the pigments sort of started to soak up the fixer, and it will become rock hard, so it won't dust off. So when you come to do your clear coat, you find a clear coat, it won't blast off. But do remember to put some newspaper down when you're doing fixed pigments, because it goes everywhere. So this is the pigment that I used on the Matador. So what we're trying to do is get them to match as though they've been to the same place, and then they'll live quite happily together on a diorama when I get round to it. Right, I think that I'll leave that today. I've sort of showed you, as I've been chatting along, sort of one or two ideas of how to do some weathering, and it does bring out already a subtle change to it. I'm not going overboard. I'm not going to make it a rusty used wreck. I'm just going to make it look like it's been in combat. Well, not in combat, but been used as a transport to get things from one side to another, and then just waiting at the side of the road with a Matador for its instructions to move forward for its next objective, and that's about it for the Universal carrier. So yeah, I'll just go along, and as I progress, as I say, I'll put some pictures up on Facebook so you can see how it goes from there. Right, let's get this out of the way, and in the last few moments of the evening, we'll get out what's going to happen next week. I've got loads of stuff around here, so thanks. Yeah, there we go. And that makes him so want to go to his bench and do some weathering. Yes, could do some. It's never too late. Just an hour. Or what you could do is go to the bench, get all your stuff out, get it ready, and then you'll know it's ready to come back to in the morning or tomorrow. Sit down and away you go, without having to prepare anything. It's ready and waiting for you. Go that. Crocodile Flute, Choctaw Flute, good evening to you. You haven't come in too late. We haven't finished yet. I'll keep going for a little bit longer. I'm just about to show you what I'm going to do for my next build. Right, clear the decks. I've got lots of stuff out. I've got pigments everywhere. I've got my new trousers on with pigment on them. Don't tell Mrs. Ted. I've got my new jogging bottoms, my new leisure pants. Don't tell Mrs. Ted. I've got fixative all over them. Right, next, what we're going to do next week. Right, I can pull back now, can't I? Because we've seen that. And I can put it back into focus. Yes, there we go. Ted was wearing them. Yes, I had the wrong trousers on. Right. Now then, last year for my birthday, Pete mate at the office, at the shop, well, he heard it was my birthday and said to Fox, send him something. So Fox kindly chose something out of the e-model store for them to send me. And I've decided that this is what I'm going to do for my next build. Zoom out a bit. Yes, it's the German Landwasserschlepper early type. Yes, yeah, landship, land, water, schlepper. Yes, it's a boat. It's a ship. It's a ship on tracks. I hadn't seen one of these before. A little bit of the box side blurb tells me schlepper and carrier. Yeah, it's land water tug. Yeah, it's a tug. It's a towing things. It's a ship on tracks. Let's go out a bit further so you can see. Yeah. There we go. That's, yes. It doesn't. I had a look right through the box, and it doesn't come with the dog. Unfortunately, why? I'm gonna have to buy a dog for it. Open it. Yeah. Open it. Right. Let's open it. Right. It comes in 2 colour schemes, grey and grey, and some squiggly bits. But I have recently seen a model of this with a shark mouth, but I don't think it's got any decals anyway. Oh well. Yeah, so if anybody's got a shark mouth, it's got some. So if anybody's got a shark mouth, I think this would look great on a shark mouth, with a shark mouth. There's the hull. There must be some decals for it somewhere, but I can't find them yet. Anyway, but there they go. Yeah, so we'll have a go at this. There's an interior with it, some painting. It's going to be nice again, I think, to paint. I can't see it, can you? It's going to be nice again to see it all built up. It'll be built up like a tank, and then it'll be built up like a ship, and then it'll be weathered. It'll be weathered like a tank, because metal things, steel things, and seawater always creates lots of gunk and rust and salty stains and things like that. So it's going to be a nice little kit, and it's going to be, as you can see, quite a nice size. Be able to play with this in a bath. But yeah, that's it. So that is what we'll be starting next week, and that, I'm sure there could be all the reasons for warhammering it. So yeah, yeah, I hadn't seen one before until I hadn't seen one at all until recently, when somebody had built one on the tubes. I'd be most disappointed if there's I think, yeah, I think there are some decals in there. That's about it. That's all there is. So I'll have to hunt down a shark mouth. But there it is, the German land hauler schlepper, early type. I think these were just a prototype that never went into full production. I think somewhere that the track and the sort of hull itself was from a Panzer IV. I could be wrong, but there we go. So yeah, not a lot to colour in. but lots of potential for weathering. So that's it. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back to you, Fox. If you remember, it was my birthday and Pete said, can you pick something to send to Ted? So, and you picked this. I'm quite grateful for you for that. And I was just looking to see if there was the ropey bits around the hull, but I can't see that, so I might have to make them. Alright, that's it. That's for next week. So, and as for this week, I think we'll call it a night now, because I can't do a lot more on this until, so, yeah, you can see now how the pigments have all dried. It won't zoom in any further than that. Focus. No. See how the pigments have started to dry? The fixers starting to dry and the pigments are returning back to what we put on originally. So it does work. It's pretty good stuff. But yeah, it does. You can do it on a shiny surface, but they are much better on a matte surface. But there we go. That's it. So. So, right, Choctaw File, first night here, looking forward to checking your future streams. Yeah, go back and have a look on YouTube and you'll find all the other builds that I've been doing, or you'll be able to see the progress that we've been doing, that I've been doing with this. It's only a small model, but it took me quite a few weeks to get to this far. Then we'll start another one next week. But yeah, do come along and join in. But go and have a look on the YouTubes and see see the back catalogue. Anyway, that's about it for tonight. Thankfully, the stream seems to have sorted itself out. Heaven knows what the problem is with that. It just seems to do it once we start up, and then once everything's running, it seems to sort itself out. But thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you all next week for the brand new build. In the meantime, I'll have to go and work out some thumbs and descriptions and things like that. So, okay, thanks for joining us. I'll go and finish my whiskey and then do a little bit more. But until next week, thanks very much for joining us, and I'll see you all again. Bye now. I'll find the end stream now. Bye.